The moment you become rich isn't the moment your life changes. It's the moment everyone around you starts acting like a stranger. I got the call on a Thursday afternoon. My startup had just sold for $2 million. 8 years of work my own family barely understood. I didn't celebrate. I drove straight to my parents' house and found my mom in the backyard, patching a hole in the fence with scrap wood because she didn't want to waste money calling someone. She had no idea what had just happened to my life. That's exactly when my phone lit up. A text from my brother. Heard the news. We need to talk. I stared at it, confused. I hadn't told a soul. The deal closed that morning. Just me, my lawyer, and my accountant. So how did he already know? I started typing, "Who told you?" then deleted it. Somewhere deep down, I already understood something I'd spend the rest of my life relearning. Money doesn't stay secret. I put the phone away. My mom asked if I could hand her the hammer. Not did the deal close. Not are we rich now. Just the hammer. For a few minutes, everything felt normal. Then the phone buzzed twice more, both from my brother. The last text read, "Don't forget." Don't forget what? I didn't know yet, but I would. What came to mind instead was a memory from years earlier. A night I was so broke, I skipped dinner to save gas money. My brother, who had almost nothing himself, showed up and pressed $60 into my hand. "Pay me back when you're rich," he joked. I hadn't thought about that night in years. Now it wouldn't leave me alone. News travels fast in families, especially through the one relative who can't keep a secret. By the weekend, everyone knew. So we did what families do. We had a barbecue. It felt normal at first. Kids running around, my uncle burning hot dogs on purpose, laughter everywhere. My brother greeted me with a grin and announced to the whole table, "Watch out, she's probably billing us for the greeting." Everyone laughed. I laughed too. That laugh felt like love. It wasn't. It was love wearing a mask. Later, my cousin leaned in, half joking. "So when you start your next company, you'll hire family first, right?" Another laugh. Another mask. I looked for my brother's smile again. This time, he wasn't smiling. He was watching me brush off the joke, and something flickered across his face. Disappointment. He hadn't meant it as a joke. He meant it. The real conflict didn't explode that day. It crept in later, at a car dealership. I was there for a recall repair when I spotted my brother through the window, walking a salesman down a row of trucks like he already owned the lot. I knew his salary. I knew his rent. The truck he was eyeing wasn't something he could afford, not even close. Then he saw me and lit up. "Perfect timing. Tell me this isn't clean," he said, slapping the hood like he'd already signed the papers. I understood then. This was never about the truck. My success made him feel small, and this was his way of evening the score. That night, my mom started saying things she never used to say. "Well, now that you can afford it." Not a question, a demotion, from daughter to resource. Then my brother called. His voice was soft, familiar, like the boy who once gave me his last $60. He wanted to meet. I said yes before I even hung up. We sat at his kitchen table. He looked nervous, genuinely nervous, not performance nervous like at the dealership. Then he said the number, $50,000. Not a loan, he explained, an investment. "It can't lose," he said. Something in me whispered, he doesn't want help. He wants to be equal again. I said yes anyway. Not to the plan, but to the boy sitting across from me. I told myself it was just money. I could afford to be wrong. For 2 weeks, it actually worked.
He showed up one Sunday with coffee and fixed my leaking gutter without being asked. Halfway up the ladder, he flashed that old, real grin. I'm paying every cent back. I believed him completely. Then the call came. The investment had collapsed. All of it. Gone. No apology. Instead, he asked for $30,000 more, insisting that walking away now would waste what I'd already put in. That's when it hit me. The gutter, the coffee, the grin. He already knew the deal was failing that Sunday. It wasn't kindness. It was a down payment on guilt. I said no. My first real no. He went quiet. 2 days later, my mother called. Why are you doing this to your brother? As if the question had already convicted me. I tried explaining. The $50,000, the failed deal, the new ask. She wasn't really listening. She was waiting for her turn to say, he's struggling, and you have so much now. After that, nothing was loud or dramatic. It was quieter than that. Texts left unread, an uncle who started calling me moneybags instead of my name, a chill in every room I walked into. Meanwhile, my dad said nothing about any of it. He'd show up unannounced, sit at my table, tell a rambling story about an old coworker, laugh at his own punchline, rinse his cup, and leave. No requests, no comments about money, just presence. Thanksgiving arrived. I almost skipped it, but I went because not going felt like admitting defeat. For an hour, it was fine. Careful, but fine. Then my dad asked, casually, how my new project was coming along. Before I could answer, my brother set down his fork. Must be nice, he said quietly. Not shouting, just tired.
We lost you the day that money came in. You didn't get rich. You just stopped being one of us. Nobody defended me. Not because they agreed, but because silence was easier than picking a side. I looked at my mom. She stared at her plate. My dad was the only one looking back at me. I left early. Nobody stopped me. That was the loneliest part. How easily they let me walk away. In the driveway, I heard footsteps. My dad's. He didn't mention the dinner. He just said, drive safe. Call your mother. Then he patted the roof of my car like he always had and went back inside.